Right. So here in this chapter, you're learning about two theorems, remainder theorem and factor theorem. They're the same thing. They're just like, said differently, but both are exactly the same thing. Okay. So we'll see what it is. Now, if I give you two expressions and I tell you to divide them, for example, um, x square minus 5x plus 8, x square minus 5x plus 8. And if I tell you to divide this with another expression like x minus 2, and I ask you not to give me the quotient, but to give me the remainder. You know what's quotient and what is remainder? Like, for example, if I'm dividing 7 divided by 3, what is a quotient and what's the remainder? So 7 divided by 3. 3 2s are 6. Remainder 1. So what's the quotient? 2. This answer on top is called the quotient. And what's the remainder? 1. In computer also we have no. Quotient you have to do this sign. And for remainder you have to do modulus. Okay. So same thing here. The remainder is 1. Now in this chapter we are focusing on how to get the remainder. So in for 7 divided by 3, how would we get the remainder? We'll have to do this whole step. And then what we get the remainder, that's the remainder, right? Now what about this question here? X square minus 5x plus 8 is divided by x minus 2. If I want to find the remainder for this, how do we find it? You'll have to divide the whole thing, right? I mean, there's a shortcut in this chapter, but if that shortcut was not there, you would have had to do the whole division. That is x square minus 5x plus 8 divided by x minus 2. Now, how many of you know how to do this division? You have learned it, no? 8th standard, no? You have done this long time back, okay? So you don't need it in this chapter, but let's just do the division and find what the remainder is, okay? So first you'll do x into how much is x square? X into x is x squared. Then you'll do minus 2 into x. Minus 2 into x is minus 2x. Then you'll subtract this. You don't need to do all this because there's a shortcut method, but let's just do it. So when you subtract, the sign will change. This minus will become plus. Minus 5x plus 2x is minus 3x. Then you bring down the next number, that is plus 8. Next, same thing repeats. X into how much is minus 3x? X into minus 3 is minus 3x. Then minus 2 into minus 3 is plus 6. Then you again subtract this. This, when you subtract, it will get 0. That is our aim. Here, this will become minus. So 8 minus 6 is 2. And that is our remainder. Finish, no? There's nothing else to bring down. So in other words, when we divide these two, our remainder is 2. Okay? But now using this remainder theorem, there's another easy way to get the remainder. You don't have to do all of this. See, it was a little complex, little tough, takes too much time. So there's a method that you're learning in this chapter. So for that, we will read the remainder theorem first. Okay. If f of x, a polynomial in x, is divided by x minus a, the remainder is equal to f of a. Okay, I know you didn't understand anything. So I'll explain this, okay? So what they're saying is, if f of x, a polynomial in x, polynomial means what? It's an expression having many terms. Okay, so here our polynomial is going to be this one here. What is that? X square minus 5x plus 8. We will call it as fx, f of x. So f of x is x square minus 5x plus 8. This is our polynomial. How many terms are here? 3 terms. Okay, so now let's read this again. If f of x, a polynomial in x, that's this one, is divided by x minus a. What are we dividing this with? In this question, dividing with x minus 2. Right, we are dividing it with x minus 2. Here we are calling it as x minus a, which means what is a? 2. A would be 2, right? Because x minus a is x minus 2. If we are comparing both of them, x minus a is x minus 2. So a is what? 2.
And the class even we wrote some definitions for this.
From this one. What's it, Nathan?
In the class, we also wrote some definitions for this.
Yeah, there are only those two. Those two theorems you have tried for every question in this chapter. Okay, you have tried either the remainder theorem or the factor theorem. Okay, so once again, listen everyone. When you're dividing this expression, that is x square minus 5x plus 8 with x minus 2. This x square minus 5x plus 8 is called what? F of x. Okay, and if you're dividing it with x minus 2, then what? Then the remainder is f of a. In other words, here the remainder is f of 2. When dividing with x minus 2, the remainder is what? The remainder is f of 2. How we got this 2? Yeah, from this x minus 2, you just, on the side you can do this. You just write x minus 2 is equal to 0 and find what is x. So take the minus 2 on the right side, x will be 2, right? So that's the value of x that you're putting over here. F of here they're calling it a. Here we're calling it a is 2 over here. So what is the remainder here? The remainder is f of 2. Now what do you mean by f of 2? In f of x, in place of x, you put 2. So how do you find f of 2? Wherever x is there, you put 2. So 2 square minus 5 into 2 plus 8. So that is 4 minus 10 plus 8. 4 minus 10 minus 6. Minus 6 plus 8?
2.
2. So we got the remainder 2. Here also we got the remainder 2. So that. So this is like an easy way to get the remainder. You don't have to do the whole actual division to get the remainder. You just have to find f of 2. Okay. It's slightly confusing. Okay. But just understand, I'll say this once again. The expression that you're dividing, you will take it as f of x. What are we dividing f of x with? X minus 2. From this x minus 2, you find out what is the value of x. How do you find the value of x? Put x minus 2 as equal to 0. So x will be what? 2. So to find the remainder, you just have to do f of 2. That's the remainder theorem. Okay. Okay. So yes, you have to write the remainder theorem for every question in this. How do you write the remainder theorem? Okay. If here I just how I wrote it. If a okay, let's write that neatly over here. First, you have to write like this. Take f of x is equal to, what is that, x square x square minus 5x plus 8. Then you have to write, according to remainder theorem, I'm just writing RT, okay? According to remainder theorem, if f of x is divided with what? What are we dividing f of x with? X minus 2, right? So when we're dividing with x minus 2, the remainder is how much? The remainder is f of 2, not 2, f of 2. That's why we found f of 2 here. And we got f of 2 as 2, which is the remainder. Okay, understand the theorem once again. First, before writing the theorem, we need to write what is f of x. So f of x is that expression that we're going to divide. Now, according to remainder theorem, what does it say? If this f of x is divided with x minus 2, the remainder will be f of 2. That's why we're finding f of 2, and we got the remainder. Is that clear, everyone? It has to be very clear, okay? Because they play around with this so much. It just goes around here and there. And so it gets confusing if you don't understand the statement. In short, to find the remainder, you don't have to do this division. You just have to do f of 2. Okay, write down this much. Here's a question. This is a question. Find the remainder obtained on dividing this one. F of x is equal to x square minus 5x plus 8 by x minus 2. Write that question and then solve this. Okay, let me ask you some questions. Now, in this question, when you're dividing f of x with x minus 2, what was the remainder? F of 2 was the remainder. All of you say that way. F of 2 was the remainder. Now, what if you're dividing f of x with x plus 2? Then say the whole thing. F of minus 2 is the remainder. Okay. What if you're dividing an expression f of x with x minus 3? Then f of 3 is the remainder. Clear? What if you're dividing an expression f of x with 2x plus 1? F of minus 1 upon 2 is the remainder. Did you get this, anyone? Let me show you how we got this. The ones who got it did this. Put in your mind, you have to do this. Put equal to 0. Make x the subject. So take the plus 1 to the right first. So 2x is equal to minus 1. And then x is equal to minus 1 upon 2. Clear? That's how we got this. Aman, you got it? Okay, next. What if 3x minus 2 is what you're dividing with? Then what is the remainder? What's the remainder? F of 2 upon 3. Amit, you're not listening. Do you understand how we got this? Take the minus 2 to the right first, it will become plus 2, and then the 3 goes down. Any doubt? Okay, now look at this question here. They're asking what's the remainder if you divide this with 2x plus 1. So, what's the remainder?
F of minus 1 upon 2 is the remainder.
Yes, you just have to find f of minus 1 upon 2. Do this, everyone. Is it clear, all of you? Nora, Ryan, Gloria, Nathan?
Yes.
Yes.
So the question how it is, find the remainder when x square minus 8x, okay, whatever. So in the same way you write this. First you write what? Take f of x is equal to this. Then you write the statement. According to remainder theorem, if f of x is divided with 2x plus 1, the remainder is f of minus 1 upon 2. Okay, did you get or not? What did you write first? Aman? Too many terms. Did you first write f of x like this? Take, first statement is what? Take f of x is equal to x square minus 8x plus 4. Did you write that? That's your starting. Same like the previous one. See, here also we wrote no. You just have to copy down from the previous question. Follow the exact same steps. Then what you'll write next? According to remainder theorem. You have to start like that. According to remainder theorem, if yes, the remainder is what? F of minus 1 upon 2. See here, Aman, 2x plus 1 is equal to 0, you have to take. You should do this on the side if you're not getting. Take the plus 1 to the right. So then it will become 2x is equal to minus 1. Then x is equal to, yeah, that's the value here. This is on the side, not to be shown. Then you find f of minus 1 upon 2. 1 upon 4. So we- 4 into 8 you have to do. 4 8 4 are 32 upon 4. 33 upon 4? It's an improper fraction, so convert that to a mixed fraction. How do you convert this into mixed fraction in the mind? So you have to think 4 into what gives 33? 4 into 4 8s are, right? So you put 8 over here. 4 8s are 32. What's the and one extra is there? Put that 1 on top. So 8 1 upon 4. Is it done? Are you all understanding this? Like you have to understand this simple concept, then only the hard ones you'll get. This chapter is easy but slightly confusing. Yeah. How did your teacher tell you?
Since 2x plus 1 is a factor of the polynomial fx, therefore fx is equal to f of minus 1.
That is if it's a factor, no? See, we are coming to that, okay? See here, it's not a factor. We'll come to that. Just hold on to that thought. Okay, I'll explain that part today. Right now, what we are getting a remainder. If you get a remainder, what does it mean? Let's come to our simple question here in the beginning. See, when we divided 7 with 3, we got a remainder, no? What does it mean? It means you can't divide 7 with 3. In other words, 3 is not a factor of 7. You know what are factors? What are the factors of 8? Means in which all tables 8 comes? 1, 2, 4, and 8. Right? They are factors of 8. Now, if we get a remainder, what does it mean? It's not a factor. Okay. So we're going to come to those type of questions. Now, what you're asking me is something to do with factors, which we will just hold that thought. Right now, this is the statement. You can't write that statement over here. It will be wrong. Okay. Yeah. This is the statement that you'll write over here. Did you all understand this over here? Here, we are using which theorem? Remainder theorem. What you said no is actually factor theorem. So it's coming there. Okay. So according to remainder theorem, we can use remainder theorem for what? To find the remainder. Same way in the future, which you're going to do, we will use factor theorem to find factors. Okay, just keep that in mind. That's the only difference, but both are very similar. What is the use of remainder theorem? To find the remainder. So here what we did is we found the remainder. If we did not have this remainder theorem, how would we find the remainder? We would have to do the whole division, which would take a lot of time. So what this is just doing is it is saving us time and we're able to get the remainder very easily. Okay, is that clear? Now look at the first question from this exercise. Find in each case the remainder when this f of x is divided by x minus 1. Okay, just tell me how to do this. How do you find the remainder? You have to find f of, okay, the whole thing, yeah. But what's the remainder? Not 1. F of 1. Very important. Don't write 1. It is f of 1. If you find f of 1, you understood why we took f of 1, right? Aman? Because it's x minus 1. If you make x the subject, we get 1. So if you do f of 1, we'll get the remainder. Okay, in the second question, how will we get the remainder? Yeah, in the second one, how do we find the remainder? F of 2 you have to do. In the third one, how do we find the remainder? F of minus 1. You all got that, right? Okay. So these three are your homework. We're not doing it now. It's same like what we did just now. Okay. Now, coming to the next part. What if the remainder came 0? What does it mean? It is a factor. What is a factor? This x minus 1 or this x minus 2 or this x plus 1, that is a factor. Correct? Factor of that big polynomial f of x. Okay. So now look at the second question. Here they're not asking to find the remainder. They're saying show that x minus 2 is a factor of this thing. So how do we show that it is a factor? Proving that what is equal to 0? Not the polynomial, and not x minus 2, f of 2. See, you're dividing this. This is f of x. 5x squared plus 15x minus 50 is the f of x. Okay. And how do you find the remainder when you divide by x minus 2? To find the remainder, you have to find f of 2. So you find f of 2, and if you get 0, what does it mean? It means x minus 2 is a factor. You all getting me? In this previous question, what did we get the remainder as? It's not 0. That means this 2x plus 1 is not a factor. In this question, when you find the remainder, that is f of 2, you will get 0. In the second one, you have to find the remainder. How do you find the remainder here? F of minus 2 upon 3. When you do that, you will get 0. If you don't get 0, what does it mean? It's not a factor. But here they're saying show that, which means you should get 0. And if you don't get 0, then it means you made a mistake. Correct? No, because they're saying show that. They're not saying check if. They're saying show that this is the factor. Okay, did you all understand remainder theorem clearly? Okay, so the remainder could be 0, it could not be 0. If it's not 0, it means that small thing here is not a factor. If it came 0, it means that is a factor. Not clear? Confused?
No.
Is it clear? It has to be clear, okay? Look at the third question. Use the remainder theorem to find which of the following is a factor. So how will you check if x plus 1 is a factor? You have to find minus 1, and it should be equal to 0. If it's not equal to 0, x plus 1 is not a factor. Is that clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the statement you can write? Tell me the statement for the second one, 2, 1. Okay, according to remainder theorem, if how do we frame the statement? You have written it down, but yeah, wait. Tell me with like how will you think of it? If f of okay. When f of x is divided with what? F of x is the polynomial. So you can write when the polynomial f of x is divided with x minus 2. Okay, the remainder is okay, the remainder is f of 2. And if this f of 2 is 0, then it's a factor. So actually that is factor theorem. You know, they keep mixing up both the theorems. So let's write factor theorem. Factor theorem would be how, you know, according to factor theorem, if f of 2 equal to 0, then x minus 2 is a factor. This is factor theorem. We just said it the other way. Remainder theorem is just to find the remainder. Remainder theorem will give you the remainder. F of 2 is the remainder. What does factor theorem say? If f of 2 is 0, then x minus 2 is a factor. Okay. So we're actually using factor theorem here, but the question also says use remainder theorem. So that's why it's used here and there. Sometimes you'll write factor theorem, sometimes you'll use remainder theorem. But what I wrote is exactly how it's supposed to be. Remainder theorem is to find remainder. Factor theorem is to find a factor. Is that clear? Confusing? No? Okay, it should be clear. So, for question 2.1, you write these two statements. And which statement you will actually use for your answer? Remainder theorem or factor theorem? The question is what? Show that this is a factor, no? So you're using the factor theorem. So according to factor theorem, if f of 2 is 0, we'll work on the statement. Understand the concept now? We'll work on making the statement correct, okay? Your homework is to solve question 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I've explained how to do each of them. Do them. Okay? Write down the write down your homework as question 1, 2, and 3. Right now, you do one question before you go. Do this 2, 2. 2, 2. Show that 3x plus 2 is a factor. Second only. First you don't have. First is easier. So do it anyway. How do you start off this question? 2, 2? Yeah. What? Let f of x is equal to 3x square minus x minus 2. Then you write this. According to the factor theorem, if f of 2 is equal to 0, then x, sorry, here it is different, no? Here, what is it? F of minus 2 upon 3. Beryl, now you read that statement which you were reading before, no? Like whatever you read before, just read that.
Since 2x plus 1 is a factor of the polynomial fx, therefore fx is equal to f of minus 1.
Is equal to 0. F of minus,
I read the
yeah. Huh? You have to get 0, no? 3x upon 2 is a factor. So f of minus 2 upon 3 should be 0. Come on, you have to solve this part. Solve this and you should get 0. Got 0? Sure. You can't cut this. First you have to square it. No? Oh. Then only you can cut. Four upon three is there, no? 3 we didn't put here. You stop this 3 on 3. We just took 4 plus 2. Where's 3? Oh, common 3. What do you do? 3 is not 2. 4 plus 2 whole divided by 3. Okay, got 0 or what, Aman? So then you can write, therefore, 3x plus 2 is a factor. Okay, as your final answer. Everyone got it? Okay, we'll end with this. Your homework is to do 1, 2, and 3. Okay, please do all of them, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Okay, question 4.1. You all read it. Did you understand it? Understood? Let's read it together. If 2x plus 1 is a factor of this, find the value of a. So we know that 2x plus 1 is a factor. So what is that statement that you can make according to that remainder theorem? Since 2x plus 1 is a factor, therefore the remainder is 0, no? And how do you find the remainder? You have to make x the subject. So that will be f of minus 1 upon 2. This will be 0. This is the remainder, right? F of minus 1 upon 2 is the remainder. And so that remainder is equal to 0. You understand? So you just write that statement. According to whom? Who's telling this?
Remainder theorem.
Remainder theorem. So according to remainder theorem, since 2x plus 1 is a factor, therefore f of minus 1 upon 2 is equal to 0. Did you understand this? This statement has to be very clear. I'll just put it again into simple words. 2x plus 1 is a factor. Therefore, remainder is 0. And according to remainder theorem, how do you find the remainder? You just have to do f of minus 1 upon 2 to get the remainder. You all understood how we got this minus 1 upon 2, right? From this factor. So this is your main statement here. F of minus 1 upon 2 is equal to 0. So we will first write f of x, then we will write f of minus 1 upon 2 whole thing equal to 0. So first f of x. What is f of x? 2x square plus ax minus 3. This is f of x. And f of minus 1 upon 2 will be, put minus 1 upon 2 everywhere. Minus 1 upon 2 whole square plus a into minus 1 upon 2 minus 3 equal to 0. See, this equal to 0 is important here. Now in this is your equation. In this equation, the missing value is a. Solve this and find a. That's how you do it. Is that clear, everyone? Yes? Do. Anyone got the answer? What is it wrong? Show me. Like, what's the mistake? Tell me, come here. What did you do actually? I just want to know where you went wrong so that next time you 1 upon 4 plus a into minus 1 upon 2.
A into minus 1 over minus 1.
Minus a, not minus 1, minus a. A into 1 is a or 1a. So it should be minus 1a. A will not go, right? This is 1 upon 2. That's correct. So 1 upon 2. Just that this has to be minus 1a. It's not wrong. Just put an a over here. It will be correct. Don't simply cut off. You should figure out what is the mistake. Huh? Which one? Minus a into 1. Minus. It's minus a. What about your? You got?
Now, why did you multiply it with 2 again? Like minus 5 upon 2 into 2.
This 2 will go here. and multiply with that. So 1 minus 6 is minus 5. So that minus 5 into this 2. Uh, 0 got added with this. Okay, so let me just explain what I've done over here. So first step, I think you all understood, is just squaring and then multiplying a into minus 1, which is minus a upon 2. Now we need to make a the subject. So this a upon 2, we will take it on the right side because it's a minus. So when I move it on the right side, it will get added to the 0. So after adding to 0, it becomes a upon 2 only. Right? The minus becomes plus. All right. So then this left side, it is a fraction minus a number. So you know the shortcut method, you multiply 2 into 3. So that is 1 minus 6 whole divided by 2. So that is minus 5 upon 2. And this 2 from the denominator of a will get cross multiplied with that side and get multiplied with that minus 5. That's why we get minus 5 into 2. Clear, everyone? Now here you have two factors. Find the values of constants a and b when x minus 2 and x plus 3 are both factors of this expression. Okay, so first we will write what is f of x. What is f of x here? The expression, that big one, that is x cube plus ax square plus bx minus 12. Now we have two factors. So according to remainder theorem, since x minus 2 is a factor, so what?
So your voice is breaking.
It's your internet. Okay, tell me, since x minus 2 is a factor, therefore what? F of, not x, f of 2 is equal to 0. This statement is the hardest for everyone to get, okay? You have to get it exactly. You cannot say f of x. You can't just say 2. You have to say f of 2. That f of 2 is the remainder. What you said? You said f of x, no? Huh. F of 2 will be 0. Now tell me the second statement, because we have another factor. We'll just put and. And since, what is your second factor? And we'll write the statement. Since x plus 3 is a factor, therefore what? F of minus 3 is equal to 0. You understood how we got this plus 3 and minus 3? I didn't write that statement of making x the subject, but yesterday I gave you practice on taking it to the other side, right? So if x minus 2 is a factor, take 2 to the other side, it will become plus 2. So f of 2. Plus 3 will become f of minus 3. Okay, so you just have to, yeah, so you do each one separately now. First you do f of 2. F of 2 means you substitute 2 everywhere. That whole thing equal to 0. That equal to 0 is important. This equal to 0 part. Then do the same thing for f of minus 3 also. You will get two equations with a and b missing. So that means, how do you find a and b now? Simultaneous equation. Simultaneously, you'll have to solve and find a and b. And any doubt? It's long. It's a little long. Okay. I will write the first part for you. Okay, for this question, what is your second equation? F of minus 3, what did you get? Say that again. Did you all get this? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, now these two equations, equation 1 and equation 2, we can eliminate b because they have different signs. So we'll just add them. Add them means use whatever signs are there. So 2a plus 3a will be 5a, minus b plus b minus b would become 0, and 2 plus 13 is 15. So a would be 3. And then substitute a in any one of the equations. You have to write that statement. Substitute a in equation 1 or 2. We'll put it in 1. So first equation will become 2 into 3, 2a plus b. So 2a plus b equal to 2. So b is equal to 2 minus 6. B is equal to minus 4. Right? 5a, you understood how we got a? Okay, see, these are your two equations. You have to either add the equations or you have to subtract the equations. Now, if your aim is to eliminate either the A or the B, so here we'll eliminate the B because they both have the same coefficient, means 1B, 1B, same numbers. If it's not same, for example, 2 and 3, it's not the same, you have to make it same. How can you make it same? Is by multiplying something with it. Like, for example, the LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. So you can make it 6. How do you I'm saying if you want to make A same. So how do you make this 2 and 3 same? With 2, you can multiply 3, and with this, you can multiply 2. That way, 2A will become 6A, and 3A also will become 6A. Your aim is to make either the A term same or the B term same. So in case it's not the same, you'll have to do this extra step. But here, fortunately, B terms are already same. So we didn't have to do this step. Okay. All right. So now once they're same, you have to either add them or subtract. If both the signs are different, we will add, which means use the signs that are there. Remember, what is your aim? To eliminate B. So if we add them, plus B minus B becomes what? 0. The B got eliminated. What if the signs were different? What if this was plus? Then adding them will not eliminate. B plus B will become 2B. So we need to subtract. Subtract means change all the signs. So that way, this will become minus B. And then plus B minus B becomes 0. Okay. So if the signs are same, you will subtract. If the signs are different, like this, if it's different, then you will add. Add means use the signs that are already over there. So here we added. So 2A plus 3A became 5A. B got eliminated. 2 plus 13 is 15. And like that, we got A. Understood now? Then you substitute A in any of the equation and find B. Is everyone clear of this question? Question 10. Find the value of A if the division of ax cubed plus 9x squared plus 4x minus 10 by x plus 3 leaves the remainder 5. So the remainder is 5 here when you divide by x plus 3. Come on, anyone, just tell me the main part. The whole statement you have to write, but the main part of it is what? From this, when you're dividing with x plus 3, the remainder is 5. So what equal to 5? What is it?
The equation is equal to 5. Then we solve it.
Which, how
Instead of 0.
is f of x equal to 5?
No. After we find x, we put the value of x in the polynomial, and then it's equal to 5, and then we solve it.
Yeah, so that main thing you didn't say, that is f of what? F of minus 3 equal to 5. That's what you have to tell. Okay, f of minus 3 is equal to 5. According to remainder theorem, when you divide an equation with, according to remainder theorem, if you divide an equation f of x with x plus 3, then the remainder is what? That we already know. But according to remainder theorem, what is the remainder? F of, I'm saying if you divide an equation or expression f of x with x plus 3, then the remainder is what? F of minus 3. And that f of minus 3 is how much? 5, because that's the remainder. So this is the main thing that you have to get from all of this. F of minus 3 is 5. Okay. Before this, you applied all that extra thing. That is what? According to remainder theorem, if f of x is divided with x plus 3, the remainder is f of minus 3. Okay. All right. Write down that full statement before you solve this. First you will write take f of x. The statement only will carry 1 mark. According to remainder theorem, if f of x is divided with x plus 3, then remember remainder theorem gives you the remainder. Factor theorem gives you the factor. So here remainder theorem is giving you the remainder. What is the remainder? Not 5. 5 is given in the question, that we know. But according to remainder theorem, what is the remainder? F of minus 3. That's your statement. And then in the next step, we'll write, yes, therefore f of minus 3 is 5. How do we know it's 5? It's in the question. But what does remainder theorem give you? It gives you that the remainder is f of minus 3. Okay? Is that clear, everyone? Okay. So now you just have to solve this. F of minus 3 is equal to, put that whole equation with minus 3 and find A. You all rejoin the meeting?
Anna, is it 2?
2. 2, right? Ivan, what did you get? 2 or minus 2? Minus 2. Did you check the answer? Okay, it's either 2 or minus 2.
And it's 2.
2. 1. Okay. Anyone left to get?
No, sir.
Question 12 is the next. You're doing 12 from here and then 13 from here. That's the last. Oh, there are more, but yeah, these are two different type of questions. So those of you finished to question 12. Did you all understand this question 12? What are your two equations you're making? Yvonne, wait. Leah, tell me. Two equations. You're dividing with you have two factors, not two factors. You're dividing with two expressions. First is with 2x minus 3. When you're dividing with 2x minus 3, what is the remainder? 7. And when you're dividing with x plus 2, what's the remainder? 0. You all understood that, right? They just gave it both in a confusing way. So they're saying the remainders are 7 and 2 when divided with 2x minus 3 and x plus 2, which means when you divide with 2x minus 3, you get remainder 7. So what is that? According to remainder theorem, what can we say? Okay, wait. Anna, Leah, tell me. What is the expression or equation you're getting using remainder theorem from here? When you're dividing by 2x minus 3, the remainder is 7. So no, just tell me the last part. The remainder will be 7. No, that is given in the question. F of 3 upon 2 is the remainder. And that f of 3 upon 2 is equal to 7. Understood? That is your first equation. Second equation is what? When you're dividing f of x with x plus 2, the remainder will be what? F of minus 2. And that f of minus 2 will be 0. When you divide anything with x plus 2, what does remainder theorem state, Anna? Remainder theorem tells you that if you're dividing something with x plus 2, the remainder is f of minus 2. If you're dividing it with 2x minus 3, what does remainder theorem tell you? F of 3 by 2 is what? No, the remainder. The remainder theorem tells you what the remainder is. The remainder is f of 3 by 2. That's all. When you're dividing an expression with x plus 2, what does the remainder theorem tell you? That the remainder is f of minus 2. You understand? Every question has the same thing only. Okay? Look, let me ask you another one. If you're dividing an equation with x plus 1 and yeah, that's all. If you're dividing an expression with x plus 1, what is the remainder? is the remainder. So if you're dividing with x minus 2, then f of plus 2. Right, minus 2, when you take it to the right, it will become plus 2. So f of plus 2 is what? The remainder. When you're dividing this whole thing with 3x plus 2, then according to remainder theorem, minus 2 by 3. The plus 2 will go to the right, become minus 2. Then 3 will go down. So f of minus 2 by 3 is what? So here, f of 3 by 2 is the remainder when we're dividing with 2x minus. And that remainder is 7. Second one, if you're dividing that with x plus 2, then what? Which is equal to 0. Because they said that it is equal to 0. So like this, you'll get two equations again. Again, A and B, which means simultaneous equations. 2. Nathan, did you understand?
Yes, and I kind of.
Remainder theorem is just telling you what the remainder is. So here the remainder in the first one is f of 3 by 2, which is 7. And for the second factor, second one is a factor because the remainder is coming 0. So remainder theorem tells you that the remainder is f of minus 2, which is equal to 0 since x plus 2 is a factor. Probably they removed this question from your book because your equation is a little complicated because of all the fractions and all. Oh yeah. Wait, what? Oh yeah, this is here, no? 3b upon 2. It's okay. The harder ones you do, then in exam it'll be easy.
Okay, so that one is not in our book.
Yeah, it's not there because of all these fractions. Okay, we'll just do it. I'm making all the denominators 4. You have a similar question in your book, but that will not have these fractions. Huh? You got? Then you got what? You got the answer or you got the equations? Okay. All right. This is the first equation. 3a plus 2b minus 3 is equal to 0.
So
Or,
what is b plus
huh?
b plus b?
A plus b.
B plus b.
B plus b is 2b. Okay, I think this will take a little time. You go home and complete it. Okay, let me just explain a few more questions so you can complete this exercise. Okay, all right. A different type of question here is number 13. Please complete this as your homework. Okay, look at question 13. What number should be added to this expression so that when is wrong, huh? So that the resulting polynomial is, oh, sorry. So that when the resulting polynomial is divided by x minus 3, the remainder is 8. So what they're saying right now, as of now, when you divide with x minus 3, you're not getting remainder 8. But when you add something to this polynomial, then the remainder is 8. Okay. See, just an extra thing here. What should be added to this so that when you divide with x minus 3, you get the remainder 8. So as of now, is f of, like, remainder theorem tells you what? The remainder is what? f of 3. And this f of 3 is how much? It's 8. Okay, but is the statement true as of now? No. If you add something to the polynomial, then this will become true. Okay, so your polynomial is f of x. What is f of x? 3x cube minus 5x square plus 6x. Okay, this is your polynomial. But to this polynomial, if you add something, so if I'll write like this, f of 3 plus something, if you add something, wait, I will put it here itself. I will put a plus a over here. So this is the a that I have to add to the polynomial. If I add this a to the polynomial, then f of 3 will be 8. Okay, so the only extra step is to that polynomial, you are putting a plus a. And that plus a is the question that they're asking. What should be added? So you have to find a, and a is the answer. A is what you have to add. Clear? And is it clear? To this polynomial is actually only this much. But when you add this a, then the remainder will be f of 3, which is equal to 8. So same like before, you will just substitute 3 over here in place of x, and you write here equal to 8 and find a. Everyone clear with this? Yes, Leah? Same like this, look at the next question. Here it is. What should be subtracted from the same thing? Instead of added, they just put subtracted. So what change you'll have to make here is minus a. That's all. Okay, so write this as a hint for that question. You have this question in your textbook. So in mine it is 13. You just write this much and then you can complete the remaining. What question number is it?
12.
12 in your books. Aman, you're there or not there? Half of the class you were not here. I'm sure you didn't understand anything from today's class.
And I'm there.
Yeah, I know you're there, but did you understand anything?
Yes, kind of.
Kind of is like nothing. You have to come here. Okay? Aman, you have to be here. Otherwise, because half of the class you were not there. What happened? Why did you leave halfway?
And I was joining the other meeting.
See, all these are excuses. Eventually, what's going to happen? You are the one who's not going to understand. Okay? Okay, so your question 12 in your book, and what's the next one? 13? This one? What number should be subtracted? That is your homework. Let's look at another one. Question 15 in my book. Do you have it in your book? Yes, what 14? Okay, so look at this. The polynomials, two polynomials here. 2x cube minus 7x square plus ax minus 8. That is.
Can you explain
Can I explain what?
your question?
Hmm.
About question 14 in your book.
Subtracted. Subtracted means instead of plus a, like how for addition added we put plus a, for subtracted you just have to put a minus a. Okay, whatever we're subtracting, we have to find, no? So put minus a along with the polynomial. Okay, couldn't hear you.
And we have to make it the subject.
Yes. Okay, in question 15, how many polynomials do we have? Two polynomials. The first polynomial will take it as what? F of x, as usual. So f of x is how much here? 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus ax minus 6. Okay, that's the first polynomial. And then the second polynomial, we'll read the remaining question. They both leave the same remainder when divided by x minus 2. Find the value of a. So first polynomial, if we divide with x minus 2, and second polynomial also when we divide with x minus 2, what are we getting? You're getting the same remainder. Okay. So first polynomial, we'll call it as f of x. What should we call the second polynomial? Yeah. After f comes g, so we'll just call it as g of x. We have to put x because both the polynomials have x in it, right? Second polynomial is g of x, which is
So what is g of x?
the second polynomial. Okay, x cube minus 8x squared plus 2a plus 1 into x minus 16. This is your second polynomial. Now, according to remainder theorem, what is the remainder? You're dividing it with x minus 2. So what's the remainder? F of 2. For the first polynomial, the remainder is f of 2. For the second polynomial, the remainder is g of 2. Did you understand? For the
Yes,
first
sir.
polynomial, remainder is f of 2 because you're dividing with x minus 2, right? Now, what they're saying, they both leave the same remainder. What's the remainder for the first polynomial? F of 2. What's the remainder for the second polynomial? G of 2. And they're saying that both of them are equal. See, the same remainder. This is your equation. So in place of f of 2, you will write this whole thing with 2 in place of x. And equal to, on the right side, you will write the second polynomial with x as 2. So you'll have a big equation, LHS is equal to RHS. And in the whole equation, what's the missing value? A. Linear equation, solve and find A. Did you get this? So slightly different here. So what is the statement you'll write here? According to remainder theorem, when f of x is divided with x minus 2, the remainder is f of 2. And when g of x is divided with x minus 2, the remainder is g of 2. That's your remainder theorem. Then you write, therefore, since the remainders are equal, f of 2 is equal to g of 2. Did you understand the story here? Okay. All right. Let's do this one song. Let's do this. Okay. I will write the whole thing here. Start doing. First, you write what? Take. Come on, do quickly, then you can leave. Take f of x is equal to this, and take g of x is equal to this. Okay. After you're done with this whole exercise is your homework. Okay, this is question 15. The polynomials, this one and this. There are two polynomials here. Same thing I explained, I think, last class, no? Okay, so I'll be having it anyway. So the first polynomial, we take it as f of x. Okay, that's this whole thing, 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus ax minus 6. And the second polynomial, we take it as g of x. That is x cubed minus 8x squared plus 2a plus 1 into x minus 16. They leave the same remainder when you divide with x minus 2. According to the remainder theorem, how do you find the remainder? What is the remainder when you divide with x minus 2? What is the remainder? How do you find the remainder? If you're dividing f of x with x minus 2, the remainder is what?
Minus 2 is equal to 0. Then x is equal to
F of 2.
F of 2. Okay. See, this is according to remainder theorem. If f of x is divided with what? With x minus 2, then the remainder is what?
f of 2.
Yes, the remainder is f of 2. Same way, when g of x, okay, when g of x is divided with x minus 2, then the remainder is what?
G of 2.
The remainder is g of 2. Understood? So f of 2 is the remainder for the first one, g of 2 is the remainder for the second one. Now what they're saying is they both leave the same remainder, which means what? F of 2 is the remainder for the first one. It is equal to g of 2. So this is your equation. In f of 2, you'll substitute the whole f of x, but where x is there, you will substitute 2. And for g of 2, you'll use the g formula, g expression, and substitute 2 in place of x. So like that, you'll have a big expression, big equation here. In that whole equation, the missing value will be a. A is the missing value. You will find a. Do you all get this one? What's the value for a? 6. Others? 10. Online? What did you get? Minora, Nathan, did you do the sum? What sum did you get? You get it? I think that's the last sum we did here, right? So why you have different answers then?
10. Okay.
And 6.
6. Answer behind is 10.
Yes.
Is it the same question?
Yes.
Numbers are same?
Yes.
Here, yeah, this is the sum. We got 10. What do you got? Is it the same question? Just check.
And I got 10 only. I told different answer.
Which
Like
answer you
different
said?
question.
Because I think even Ahmed is also saying a different question. Check if your f of x and x is the same. 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus ax minus 6.
Yes.
No. Two cube, you wrote 2 square. Not square, it's 2 cube.
And you put 20 upon 2 and like when I cut it, I got 10.
Yeah, you made a mistake here. Then how 6 you got? Oh, you took the 2a on that side.
Yes.
Okay. So your mistake is here. I don't know if there's any other mistake. Here I can see one mistake. It's 2 cube. How many, you understand how to do this? A, this one. It's a linear equation. Did you solve that 7th standard question?
Yes.
You solved it?
Yeah.
You didn't show me. You have to show me whether it is correct or wrong. So this is a linear equation, no? Look at the equation. See if you understand.
After finding, you have to find A from both the equations.
This one A is A. It's there in both. This whole thing is a one equation. Left side is an expression, right side is another expression. So LHS is equal to RHS, and in this whole equation, A is the missing value. So you have to take A to one side and then find A, no? Like that.
So, because we have to find from one equation and then other you have to add it also.
No, that's not, these are not two equations, these are two expressions. F of x is one expression, g of x is another expression. When you put two expressions are equal to each other, then we get an equation. Okay, solve the equation, A is the missing value, you'll find it. Now, there are some questions where you have to do simultaneous equations also, right? Like see the 16th question here. If x minus 2 is a factor of the expression, this one, and when the expression is divided by x minus 3, it leaves a remainder 52. So there are two things you're dividing with. First, when you're dividing with x minus 2, they're saying that x minus 2 is a factor. So the remainder will be how much? F of 2 will be 0. F of 2 is the remainder, and that will be 0. Then the same expression you're dividing with x minus 3, and the remainder is 52. So what do you get from that? Tell me, both of you, or all of you. When you're dividing with x minus 3, the remainder is 52. So what does the remainder theorem tell you?
According to the remainder theorem, if x is divided with x minus 3, the remainder is f of 3.
F of 3, yeah, and what is that f of 3?
F of 3
Will be 52. From the first one, you have f of 2 is equal to 0. So like this, you'll have two equations, and there are two missing values, a and b. So you'll get two equations. You have to simultaneously solve these two equations to find it. Okay. These are the most common type of questions that will come from the first exercise. Okay. Is that clear, Aman? Is it okay? F of 3 is the remainder. According to remainder theorem, no, see, because you're dividing with x minus 3. So you know how from x minus 3, how to get f of 3?
Yes.
You will take the minus 3 to the right side and it will become plus 3.
I know that, but how? Where do you have to put another equation?
Yeah, so in this equation, this expression here, so like this, f of 3 is equal to, in this equation, no, not equation, expression, you put 3 wherever x is. So it will be 3 cube plus a into 3 square plus b into 3 minus 14, correct?
Yeah.
Equal to 52 you have to put here.
After you are done solving the whole equation, then what do you have to do then?
Take 52, take all numbers on one side, a and b on the left side. So like that you'll get an equation with a and b missing values. Same thing you'll do for this also. There also you'll get a and b missing values and simultaneous equations. Leah, did you do the homework? You got everything or not? Which one you didn't get? You're late also by almost 25 minutes. What happened? Ready what? Till what time? When is this now? Which days? Every Wednesday? Who's teaching you? Both are teaching you together? Two music classes. Okay. Can you tell them to take a little earlier or what? Then? Yeah, don't be late, okay? So which question is that in this book? Huh? 14. What number should be subtracted? Subtracted is You just have to put a minus a to this whole thing. X cube plus 3x square minus 8x plus 14 minus a. Because they're asking what should be subtracted, no? So that value that you're subtracting, you have to add it. I mean, you have to attach it to this expression as minus a. If the question is what number should be added, then you will write plus a. That is your whole expression. So, for example, in this 14th question, your f of x will be what? F of x will be x cube plus 3x square minus 8x plus 14 minus 8. This is the whole expression. Because they're asking what should be subtracted, no? So this is what we are subtracting. No. F of, okay, now when you're dividing it with x minus 2, the remainder is 10. So what can you get from remainder theorem is f of 2 is equal to 10. So then in this equation, you'll put f of 2. That is, wherever x is there, you'll put 2. That's 2 cube, all that whole thing, minus a equal to 10. Solve that and find a. Okay. So you didn't get this, you're saying, right? You understood what to do. So if the question is what should be added? Plus a. What should be subtracted? Minus a. Okay. Shall we go on to the next exercise, everyone? Now, next exercise, you are focusing on factor theorem. What is factor theorem? What does it help you to find? It helps you to find factors. Okay. So that's what we're going to do in the next exercise is finding factors. And it's a very long process. There are okay, anyway, so let's do this. Now, suppose I give you an expression like x square plus 3x plus 2. And if I tell you factorize this, how do we factorize this? We have done this in 9th standard. The chapter was called factorization. And you had like these. We used to call these as trinomials. And how did we factorize this trinomial?
By finding sum and product.
Split this middle term, right? And sum and product. And then finally you will get how many? You'll get 2 factors. Correct? Okay. Now you're going to factorize something little bigger. Something like this. You see here? What is the order of this expression? Order. You know what's the meaning of order? Order means the biggest power. In this, the biggest power is 2, x square. When it is x square, you will get 2 factors. Here you have x cube. That means you will get how many factors? 3 factors you will get. That's what you're going to learn in this 8B.
4 means 4.
Yeah, 4 means 4 factors, but you don't have 4. You have only till 3. So your answer will have 3 factors, okay? This, I hope all of you remember how to factorize, because this is also coming in this. You need to know how to do this. It's part of this question here, okay? All right. So let us see how to factorize. Look at the questions. Using remainder theorem, you're saying remainder theorem, but actually you're going to use factor theorem. As I said, both these theorems are interchangeable. They mean the same thing. Just that remainder theorem is used to find remainders and factor theorem is used to find factor. Okay, so using remainder theorem, factorize each of the following completely. Look at all the questions. Did you see the order of x? X cube, x cube, x cube, x cube, x cube. So that's how the questions will be in this exercise. No x squares, okay? Look at all the questions. Using the remainder theorem, factorize the expression. Same. Factorize the expression. Same. The expression this leaves the remainder this. Hence, factorize the expression completely. So in all the questions, it is factorize the expression. Okay. All right. So let us see one question here. We'll start with this first one and we'll see how to factorize. Listen very carefully the first time itself. There are some steps that you have to follow. Follow those exact steps. So your expression is 3x cube plus 2x square minus 19x plus 6. What if x minus 1 is a factor of this? What will you get? You just tell me. According to remainder theorem. What is 0? If x minus 1 is a factor, then f of 1 will be 0, right? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to try f of 1. and we're going to check if you're going to get 0. F of 1 means wherever x is there, we're going to substitute 1. And we're going to check if you're getting 0. What if we get 0? It means x minus 1 is a factor. What if it's not equal to 0? X minus 1 is not a factor. So like that, you're going to try f of 1, then you're going to try f of minus 1, then f of 2, then f of minus 2, f of 3, and f of minus 3. That's all. You don't have to go ahead. They will not give you any question where you have to go above 3. But these are the 6 options that you have to try. You have to try whether you're getting 0 for f of 1, f of minus 1, 2, minus 2, 3, and minus 3. That's your first step. Okay. So just keep this in mind. You don't need to write all this. That's just for your understanding. So first we will take x is equal to 1. So 3 into 1 cube plus 2 into 1 square minus 19x, 19 into 1 plus 6. Solve this and check if you're getting 0. If you're not getting 0, then you will try the next value, which is take x is equal to minus 1. If that's not happening, then 2, then minus 2, then 3, then minus 3. So do that.
Anna, x minus 2 is a factor.
Okay. So for x is equal to 2, we got 0. Therefore, x minus 2 is the factor. See, if you're not getting 0, no, you don't have to calculate. Just write over there not equal to 0. Don't waste your time trying to find the answer because it's of no point anyway. Okay, if it's easy, then you write the answer if you want. But if it's difficult and you know for sure, for example, all are positive. If all the numbers are positive, will you get 0? No, you need some positive and some negative numbers. Only then it'll add up to 0. Right? So see here, only 1 minus 3, remaining all are positives. So you know for sure that it's not 0. So I just wrote not equal to 0. Don't struggle and find the answer. Also, one more hint. What if all of them are plus, plus, plus? Then x will never be positive. If x is positive, then you're just adding everything and then you'll never get 0. You'll get some big number, positive number. So whenever everything is positive, your x will always be negative. Okay, so keep this in mind. When you keep doing this, no, all these small techniques will come in your head. Okay. Anyway, as of now, we got x minus 2 is a factor because x equal to 2 came as 0. Clear? Okay. Now, suppose I give you a number 10 and I tell you find the factors of 10. But I already tell you 2 is a factor already. Suppose I tell you 2 is a factor of 10. How will you find the other factor of 10? You can do 10 divided by 2. So 2 5s are 10, right? So you got another factor, 5. So if you have the full number 10 and I give you one of the factors, how do you find the other factors? By dividing. You understand? That's what we're going to do now. We're going to divide this f of x, that big expression, with x minus 2. Okay, how do we do that? So this whole expression, 3x cube plus 2x square minus 19x plus 6. This whole thing you have to divide it with x minus 2. And here you will get another factor. Do you all remember how to do this division? It's a little difficult, right? So don't worry, you don't have to do this division. I'll show you another shortcut method how to get this. Okay, but anyway, let's just do it for fun and see if we're getting the same answer. All right, so how do we do this? Those of you remember, tell me. So first, x into what is 3x cubed? X into 3x square is 3x cubed. Then we do minus 2 into 3x square. That is minus 6x square. Then we subtract this. When we subtract, we have to change all the signs. This will become minus, this minus will become plus. 3x cube minus 3x cube will become 0. That's our aim. Here 2x square plus 6x square will become 8x square. Then you bring down the next number, that is minus 19x. So now again repeat the same steps. X into what will give you 8x square? Plus 8x, right? Will be 8x square. Next, minus 2 into 8x? Minus 16x. Okay, again change the sign, make this plus. 19 plus 16? Minus 3x, right? Bring down the plus 6. Repeat same thing. X into what is minus 3x? Minus 3 is minus 3x. Minus 2 into minus 3? Plus 6. When you subtract, you're getting 0. So this is proving that x minus 2 is a factor. Because when x minus 2 is a factor, that's why we got the remainder 0. And also we got our second factor. It's a trinomial. Okay. All right. So this is the long method of doing this. Now I'm going to show you a shortcut method on how to get this factor. Okay. This took so much time. Took 2 minutes. This method is easier. So you draw 2 lines like this and just put all these numbers. Which numbers? From this fraction here, sorry, from this expression here, just write the coefficient of the numbers, the numerical coefficients. That means the numbers here. So first you write 3, then 2, then minus 19, and 6. Okay. Then you write this here outside here. You write what is the factor here? X minus 2, right? What is the value of x? 2. That 2 you write outside over here. Okay. Just compare with what we wrote here. Here we wrote the whole expression with all the x terms and everything. But in this, you're only writing the numbers. And here you're dividing the x minus 2. So here we're writing 2, not minus 2. Be careful with this. You don't write minus 2 because it's minus 2. You write the value of x, which is 2. Okay. Now, first step is this 3, you write it. If x, yeah, whatever the value of x that you write. Okay, now listen carefully. This 3, you will write it down first. Then you will multiply this 3 with this 2. 3 2s are? Write that 6 over here. Okay? Listen to the steps. Then add these 2. 2 plus 6? 8. Repeat the same thing now. This 8 you'll multiply with 2. 16. Write 16 here. Then add these 2. Minus 19 plus 16? Minus 3. Then again the same thing. Minus 3 into 2? Minus 6. Add these 2? 0. Put a line over here. Okay. So what you got here, 3, 8 and minus 3. You see that's the same thing here. 3, 8, minus 3.
What about x square?
Yeah, you have to put that. Okay. So now from this you will write there 3x square plus 8x minus 3. So the first term has x square in it. The next term has x in it. Next term is the number term. You are just writing it like that.
How is the
It's in order. It's in order. First will be x square, next will be x, next will be number. It will come in order. Is this clear?
No, what is that division called?
With this division? This one? I don't know what name is there. It's just a shortcut method of doing the division. Is this synthetic division? I have not heard of that word.
So she said if you use that to get the answer.
If you use this method,
No, this kind of synthetic division.
use this synthetic division. Okay. I don't think so. See, these are both the methods. Okay, both ways you're getting the answer. The left side is actual division, but this method is longer. Okay, the shorter method is this. You will get this answer anyway. And in the boards, I know for sure that their aim is just to get the answer. You solve the shortest method to get the answer because you're racing against time over there. You don't have time to do long methods. You have to find the shortest method to do it. So I'm sure this method is accepted, but I'll check it. Okay. So this is the actual method. This is the shortcut method. Clear how to do both? Okay. Now, once you get this, you got a very big expression. It's a trinomial. You need to again split this into two. So you have to do the sum and product here to get the two factors. So there were three steps in this sum. The first step is this whole thing here to get the first factor. This is step one to get the first factor. Step two is to get the second factor, either this method or this method. But in the second method, you're getting a very big factor, like you're getting square in it. So then again, you have to split this in the third step to get two more factors. So when you split this, you will get totally how many factors now? You'll get two more factors. So then you write all the three factors together, which is the first factor is x minus 2 and these two more. So totally you'll get three factors. That is the end of the question. Okay. All right. All of you solve it, complete it. You all rejoin the meeting. Yes. So as I said just now, the method on the left is called the long division method, and the method on the right is synthetic division. Okay. What's the next step now? Step 3. Step 3 is to factorize this. So to factorize this, what is sum and product? Sum is the middle value here, that is 8. And the product, you write it on top. That is this 3 into minus 3. That is minus 9. Okay. So what will be your signs now? If product is negative, one has to be positive, one has to be negative. Right, Aman? Plus into minus is what? So you have to have plus into minus, then only you get product as minus. So what are the numbers?
9 and
9 minus 1. 9 minus 1 is 8. And plus 9 into minus 1 is minus 9. Okay, so split this. Three x square plus 9x minus 1x or x minus 3. Here 3x is common. So x plus 3. Right? Here nothing is common. So you just put the minus and put a 1 outside. So that's x plus 3. Because minus 1 into plus 3 is minus 3. So we got our two factors, that is 3x minus 1 multiplied by x plus 3. Okay, so we got our two factors. So finally, you write your main answer, that is, write the whole expression. This is equal to x minus 2 into 3x minus 1 into x plus 3. That's how you write your final answer. The whole expression is equal to all three factors. That is x minus 2 into 3x minus 1 into x plus 3. That's your final answer. Do the second one after this, okay? Same like this.
You can use the synthetic.
Do the synthetic method. But do you know how to do this, Aman?
Yes.
Leah, you understood how to do it? Okay, anyway, do the shortcut method, synthetic method. Do you understand the synthetic method? Yes. First step is what? Write all the coefficients on top. Write x value on the left side. Next, what you'll do?
Like
This 3, you'll write it down. Then next,
Multiply
3 into 2. Then you'll get 6. Then add 2 and 6, 8. Then 8 into 2, 16. Then add these two, minus 3. Minus 3 into 2, minus 6. Add these two, you should get 0. If you don't get 0, it means you made some mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. Question to everyone.
Anna, will these be big questions come in the exams?
Yeah. From this chapter, this is what is going to come. 90% this question will come. 10% from the first part will come. But mostly it's going to come from here. In fact, both will come. Okay, but this is the more important question from this chapter. That is, what is sum and product? Yeah, if you write this no as a proper expression, 2x square plus 5x minus 3. And then sum is 5, product is minus 6. Like this, you have to write it, no? First you write it this way, and then you. Did you all get it?
Yes.
Manora, Nathan? Or Manora, I didn't hear you.
And then I got only till 2x minus 1.
2x minus 1. What is that now?
Yes.
What is 2x minus 1? Third? You got all three, that
Yeah.
means.
No, I don't get all 3.
First, what is the factor?
X minus 2.
X minus 2. Then after that, you did the synthetic division. Like this, correct? 2 2s are 4, 5. 5 2s are 10. Minus 13 plus 10. Minus 3 into 2, minus 6. So your expression is 2x square plus 5x minus 3. And then sum and product. Sum is 5. Product is 2 into minus 3. That is 2 into minus 3. That's minus 6. So here also minus plus minus. 6 minus 1, no? So 2x square plus 6x minus x minus 3. That's 2x into x plus 3 minus 1 into x plus 3. So that's 2x minus 1 into x plus 3. And then the first one that you got is x minus 2. These are the three factors.
We can write it the origin of first X minus 2.
Any order. Because it's multiplication, no? Multiplication you can write in any order. Is everyone clear? Shall we move on? No, there are some modifications now to this. This is the most direct type of question where they'll just give you the expression and they'll tell you factorize it. Now, sometimes they make it easier for you. Look at the first question here. Using the factor theorem, show that x minus 2 is a factor, hence factorize the expression completely. So what did they do here is? So they've already given you one factor, x minus 2. So you can skip step 1. Skip means you have to show it. So you'll substitute the value of x, which is 2. You'll find f of 2. And you should get 0. So that way you're showing that x minus 2 is a factor. So they have saved you some time. Instead of trying for 1 and minus 1 and 2 and minus 2, directly you will try for 2. Then you will directly go into second and third step of it. Same thing here also. Look at this. It's the same. Show that. Show that is it, no? Yeah. Show that x plus 5 is a factor. Okay. So now you will put x value as minus 5. I told you they will not give you more than 1, 2, and 3. But here, since they're already giving you the factor, that's why 5 is there. But you will not have to find. What you'll have to find will be always from 1 till 3 only. Okay. So first step, you'll directly put x value as minus 5 and you should get 0. And then you'll factorize it completely. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Then third question. Okay, did you see the third question? So what is this? Using remainder theorem, factorize the expression. Okay, same like before. Hence, solve the equation, this whole thing equal to 0. So, when you factorize this expression, you will get 3 factors. Right, for example, like this. 2x minus 1 into x plus 3 into x minus 2. You'll get like 3 factors. And then they're saying, hence, solve the equation, same thing, equal to 0. Which means what? You will just put here equal to 0 for the answer. And when you put equal to 0, it becomes an equation. So then you will take each one equal to 0. So first you will take 2x minus 1 equal to 0 and find x. Then x plus 3. If x plus 3 is equal to 0, what is x? Minus 3. And if x minus 2 is equal to 0, x is equal to 2. Like that, you'll get 3 values for x. That's all. Just one extra step. It's like in quadratic equations, how we do know, we find the value of x. We don't just leave it as factors. So here also you're just solving the equation, means finding the 3 values of x.
Remainder theorem means what?
Yes, so you have to do remainder theorem, get the 3 factors. After that, you will do equal to 0. Clear? Next, factorize the expression. Okay. Hence, find all possible values of x for which f of x is equal to 0. Same thing. You're finding all the possible values of x. So once you get this, put equal to 0 and you'll get 3 values for x. For all those values of x, you will get equal to 0. See here, only once we did equal to 0, that is for, and we got one factor x minus 2, which means f of 2 was 0. F of 2, there's only one we have done equal to 0. So same way f of minus 3 also will be 0. And here f of 1 upon 2 also will be 0. So like that, you're showing all the 3 possible values for x where you will get equal to 0. Next, given that x minus 2 and x plus 1 are factors. Okay, so they've given 2 factors. Before even going there, according to remainder theorem, what we can say, since x minus 2 is a factor, f of 2 is equal to 0. And here, since x plus 1 is a factor, okay, so we already have 2 factors. Now they're saying f of x is equal to this. Calculate the values of a and b. Okay, so this is same like previous exercise. You'll get 2 equations, simultaneous equations. You'll have to find a and b. Oh, and then find all the factors of f of x. So after doing simultaneous equation and getting a and b, put the value of a and b in this expression and then factorize it completely. Like this whole thing. But you don't have to do the whole thing. Why? Because you already have 2 factors. You have 2 factors, x minus 2 and x plus 1. So you can skip the first step. Second step, you divide it with either 2 or with minus 1. Because you have 2 factors. Choose any one. And this, what is this method called? Synthetic division. In that you divide it with either 2 or minus 1 and you'll get this trinomial. Then you'll have to use sum and product and again divide the trinomial. So out of the 3 answers you get, 2 of them will already be one of these 2. You're just getting a third factor. Did you get it or not?
Yeah.
It's a little confusing, but once you understand the main core of it, you'll be able to solve it anyhow. I'll say that once again. They've already given 2 factors and a and b is missing. So you will make those 2 equations. That is f of 2 is equal to 0 and f of minus 1 is equal to 0. You'll get 2 equations with a and b missing. So then you will simultaneously solve those 2 equations and find a and b. Then put the value of a and b over here. So you will get a proper expression. Then that expression has to be factorized completely. But you don't have to do the whole thing because you already have 2 factors. Right? So skip the first step. First step was to get the first factor. But since we already have 2 factors, skip the first step, directly go into the second step. In the second step, you divide it with either 2 or minus 1. And you will get this trinomial. Yeah, the second factor. Then you split the trinomial like this and you'll get 2 factors. Out of those 2 factors, one will be one of these 2. Clear? Is that clear, everyone?
So we have to not solve like the child.
You'll have to do simultaneous to find a and b, no?
Yeah, and then after that we do like this.
I think we'll do this one now. Last one we'll do this and then we'll stop. Okay? Otherwise you'll forget by the time you go home. All what I explained will go wrong. So you do this now. Start with, according to remainder theorem, since x minus 2 is a factor of f of x, therefore f of 2 is equal to 0. right? You have to start with that. Okay, how's it going? Anyone has any doubt?
Anna,
Yeah.
Anna, is A minus 6 or 6? Doubt in that.
A. You got A? 6. Others? You want Leah? You got A? You want? You should be first. Tell me what's
Anna,
A.
I got minus 6.
Minus 6, huh? You got? You got 6. Yeah, they got 6.
minus 6.
Show me.
Yeah, minus 6 should become number 1.
Let me just see here. It's 6. No. Sorry, 1 minute. 3. This is minus 18. It's minus 6. Even it's minus 6 over. Sure.
No, minus is minus 18.
You didn't even simultaneously solve them. You didn't write them together. Mind only did. Be careful with that because you have to subtract these two. So minus 20 plus 2, that's minus 18. So minus 18, no? 3 and minus 18. Minus 18, no? So A is minus 6.
Substitute A and B into F into H.
Fx, yeah.
So S is A.
Okay, what is A? Minus 6. What is B?
Minus 8.
Minus 8.
Yeah.
So then your f of x will become. So this is your expression now.
Substitute.
So you can divide this with either 2 or with 1. Okay, your homework anyway is to complete all the questions till the 5th one in my book. Check in your books. 5th one in my book. That's the question that we're doing right now. Till that question, everything should be complete. So till that 6th, everything should be done. Okay, one more class in this chapter will be over. Okay, so we'll end with
Anna,
this.
can you send the
Can I send this?
of the